Michael, listen, in honor of The Boys season 2, I think it's only appropriate that we take my daughter and we put laser beams coming out of her.
She's
So,
happy
okay,
about it. She's
yeah,
buzzed.
she's ready. So I'm gonna like just this is obviously you're gonna fix this in post, but it's like pew 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 pew. We've got the budget for that, right?
Everyone's mad that it's weekly, but I'm happy about it because I hate binging things.
Yeah, it's nice because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little relieved when you were like, "We're doing a video next week," and I'm like, "Ooh,
And those first 3 episodes, they set up what's going to happen for the rest of the season. So I
yeah."
figured we talk about 5 things about the first 3 episodes of The Boys, and we're not going to review it every week because JD's already got a show he's doing.
Well, maybe we'll circle back at the end.
Yeah, we'll do a
Uh,
final thoughts kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I find funny though, as a side note, is that the boys like transition to this
Mhm.
kind of rollout, and now the Mandalorian's like, no, 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 guys, we're just gonna drop all of the episodes when it
Come
comes out.
on!
I'm like, just pick something.
Stormfront, the Nazi.
Ooh, which we don't totally know yet,
But we know.
but we know. Yeah, it
Like,
is. Oh,
Stormfront is a new member of the Seven, and she's from like the Northwest of America, and she's supposed to be like a hipster superhero.
she's like a
And
millennial superhero.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's got her hair shaved. No one does that anymore, but she has part of her hair shaved, and but she's like she's quippy and she doesn't take crap from anybody. But then in episode 3, she finally gets a chance to show off her powers. They're chasing a super terrorist, super
Super villain.
villain. Sorry, super villain. He might come in anytime. She's chasing a super villain, and they go into this apartment complex. There's this black family that they go in through their apartment, and she just kills them.
Yeah.
And you're
No
like,
reason.
wait, that's weird. Okay, but the show is like they're all bad anyways.
This is a gender reverse or gender swap kind of role, because I think in the comics Stormfront is a man. So
Yeah.
it is interesting that they're able to take this character, like make it a female, and then also like still make her bad, but also still kind of make her appealing for the females in the group too. So I think that's what I'm excited about with,
Yeah.
with her character. That it's she's probably totally bad, but also she does kind of give like Starlight and Queen Maeve like this, we don't need these boys kind of feel, which is
Yeah.
it's conflicting.
But also she's a Nazi, so it's like
Yes, but also she's a Nazi. So
can't really like her that much.
can't like, yeah, it's like they do a great job of like, oh, I think I may kind of like this person. I mean, in the back of your head, but
Yeah.
but then when it turns, and you're like,
Yeah, and you're like,
no,
whoa.
not anymore.
We're just going to talk about the boys and Starlight as a whole. The boys are sort of hiding out, but at the same time, Kimiko finds her long lost brother, who is the super terrorist. Billy Butcher shows back up. Huey's going through a midlife crisis in his 20s.
Compliments of Billy Joel.
Yeah, but I mean, he inadvertently killed one of the super heroes, so it's like, of course you're gonna be in a weird headspace. Your girlfriend got killed by a superhero.
Yeah,
Huey's all messed up, and he's in love with the superhero. This he's got problems. He's got
he's
issues.
conflicted.
He needs therapy.
Yeah, they're going through some stuff,
Yeah.
and they're kind of freaking out, which is fun. Same thing with Starlight too.
We've seen her send out Compound V to the media, but it backfired on her. So it's like,
Yeah, and
What's
and we
happening?
get a little bit of like tension right at the end of the third episode, without spoiling too much of like a conflict that she has. But yeah, it's we haven't got a ton of her just yet.
look, talk about conflicting characters. You've got the Deep, who is a sexual predator, but also now he's being recruited by a Scientology-esque church. I'm very confused. I didn't read the comics, so I don't know what's happening there. But also, he hates his gills. He goes on a drug trip.
With Patton Oswalt.
So many.
It's, I mean, he's an awful, like what he's done is awful, but it's clear that he's wrestling with that.
Yeah.
and he's obviously got some self-esteem issues. It's just funny. I mean, it's like, and
Yeah,
they couldn't have picked like a better like superpower to do it to.
but it's also looking at toxic masculinity and like sexual predators, but at the same time it's like you see his relationship with Homelander and you could see where he ended up and why he ended up there.
It's almost you root for him just to be for the ridiculousness of it. Like
Yeah.
you're just like, yes, like ride that whale, like just bask in your weird glory, and you're like, I don't like you, and I want to see the most ridiculous things happen to
Yeah.
you.
We got to talk about Homelander and his kid and just pushing him straight off the off the roof.
I'm not saying like, oh, he's kind of pulled back a little bit, but I feel like giving him that family thing also grounds him a little bit, makes him like they've kind of taken this I'm going to take over the world feel out of him and just made him more of a, yeah, he's just a crazy dude who is obsessed with, being great and a legacy. So that's,
Yeah.
I don't know totally what to think yet.
What it reminds me of is like whenever I read Superman comics, is like I didn't enjoy Superman being Superman. I enjoyed Superman struggling to be Clark Kent. And so that's
Yeah.
what Homelander never had a true family. He grew up in like a science lab, basically. Him trying to be a dad, even though he's an awful, toxic human who is
Yes.
just doesn't know what is right and only knows what's wrong, but is proud that he knows that's what's wrong.
Yeah.
And he's like, he is like bullying people at work. Giancarlo Esposito is getting his number on Homelander and he's making him mad. And that's not going to go well. We've seen Homelander mad, and it's
Yeah.
not good. Let's get some predictions, and then when we do our final thoughts videos, we'll see how wrong we were.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for sure, going to be totally wrong.
We haven't talked really much about A-Train, but it does seem like this season's really going to ramp up the discussions about race relations, which I'm really excited about because A-Train is such a conflicting character because he's got the substance abuse, but he also grew up in a poor family and now he's rich. And so there's the whole idea of like, how do you manage yourself when you get all these things that you never grew up with?
There was one upsetting part about the only getting 3 episodes at a time is that we do not get enough MM. Like he's him and Frenchie are 2 of my favorites.
Yeah.
I just feel like they don't. Frenchie gets a little bit more, but I'm excited to see that. A-Train, I think, is going to not join the boys, but he is going to obviously probably assist them. I could see the Deep also maybe making that turn. I get like almost like an X-Men 2 kind of vibe of, okay, Homelander is going to eventually see that Stormfront is crazy, and then he's going to have to, switch his allegiance temporarily. Like nothing's still going to be good with him and Butcher, but just for a moment, we're going to have at least for an episode of, we got to take down Stormfront. I just don't know what to do with Giancarlo Esposito. Like he's such an enigma sometimes. Like he seems like a dude. Like, is he a bad guy? I mean, obviously he's the bad guy because he's leading this company, but is he it's like, I don't know. He feels like a good guy because he's kind of like sticking it to Homelander and he just doesn't care.
That's the funny thing is like, that's what's great about Esposito as an actor. He's able to make you not understand his motivations, but at the same time explaining his motivations clearly. And you're like, wait, but do I like this guy? That's the question.
Yeah. It is interesting. Like, I feel like we're coming to a point, like it's all building up to like a big moment that maybe we'll have to kind of reset a little bit in the next season. So
I just hope it doesn't go the way of Heroes, where it had like a solid first season and then it had a bad ending and it just got worse. Hopefully that's what my fear of any superhero show is like I know the Shield. Yeah, I know the Shield went through the same thing. As like the first couple seasons are really good and then had a slow, but now it's back to being good again. I just can't deal with another superhero movie or show just being bad. I can't.
When you say Heroes, like I immediately just like, it's like just terrible flashbacks.
Yeah. So we'll be back once in a couple weeks whenever the boys end. What are we doing here? I don't know.
I do. I was trying to give a superhero pose, and that's all I could think of.
If I could do
one of these.
Oh, yeah. I could do the Hulk Hogan.
Or we could just turn it into a dab.
Oh God, no. All right. Now you're a supervillain.